Hey everybody, Starscream Rules 4 here, and really quick, before I get to this review, I just want to say, this is probably going to be my last review before the New Year's, and I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's liked and viewed my videos, and to everyone who's subscribed. It really does mean a lot, even though it doesn't seem like a lot. So just thank you to all of you, I really appreciate it. Now, I was just going to go ahead and just do an ordinary Voyager review or a New Generations, but that didn't seem right. It's the holidays, I should do something special. So I went through my closet, did a little digging around. I wanted to do a Starscream, you know, my username, but I finally settled with this one just because he's probably the best one that I own, if not my favorite. Yeah, so this is Masterpiece Ghost Starscream on his display stand. He is exactly the same as my Masterpiece Starscream, except for the fact that lots of his pieces are transparent. This gives him... For everyone who doesn't know, Starscream died in Generation 1, or maybe it was, I don't know. He died sometime in the old show, and he came back as a ghost. And a few ghost toys were released to model that. Not many, and eventually he ended up getting a Masterpiece, which is surprising considering how little screen time he actually ended up getting. But, yeah, anyways, here he is. He's quite a large jet in his F-15 mode. We do get his display stand, obviously, like I said. Null ray is displayed nicely here. We get a strange yellow piece, which is used to stand him up in jet or robot mode. But it's strange color choice. Weird yellowish orangey color. Doesn't really... The only thing that's even remotely close to that color is his cockpit. But enough about that. For now, I'm going to go ahead and just remove him from that, because for now I just want to talk about the jet, and I want to show off his landing gear too. There we go. So, landing gear, for me, I have difficulty with it sometimes. This part's easy enough. You flip down this little hatch here, and this can be a pain. But you're going to need to get a fingernail or a toothpick or something down there and get very nice, sleek landing gear come out. And down here, these are my issues. One right here, one right here. Little tab, you're going to stick your fingernail in there, pop that out. Same with the other one. There we go. Now, for me, this one never seems to want to come out all the way. It's always sort of, I'm not sure if you can tell, but it's always sort of bending, you can't really tell, but it's always sort of bending inward. And every time I try and set him up, he will tilt. That works fine, but you can't really roll him or he'll fight over. I'm not sure if that's an issue with everybody's or just mine. But, yep, landing gear works pretty well besides that. Kibble-wise, not a lot. Showing off, this does a really good job of making a sleek F-15 jet that looks airborne, or it could be airborne, anyway. You could sort of tell these are the fists and that's the head, but other than that, they did a really good job hiding everything. We have his missiles, 2 missiles here, they're pegged under these little holes. I'm going to take them off for now, though, because they'll get replaced with his null rays soon enough. Other than that, there's not a lot. I should point this out. If you are getting this figure, these are notoriously sharp. They shouldn't be that sharp, I just think. My brother ended up stepping on it one day and put a bloody hole on the bottom of his foot. That was not... Actually, no, that was my brother. That was my friend, sorry. But, yeah, that still was not a pleasant experience. These are sharp, so look out for those. Other than that, these... Let's get to the flaps right here on the top. This will come out like so. I guess that's sort of like for a slowing down in midair thing. But that's pretty cool. Here you can take this off and slide that open. You'll get a little satellite dish. Communications and things. I think normal jets have those. I'm not sure that's where they're placed though. Right here we have thrusters are on ball joints. They can move up and down, back and forth. Any way you really want. You can even pop them off if you want. And then we also have 2 flaps here. That's pretty cool. These will come up like this. There's really no point to that in vehicle mode. That just will serve into his robot mode transformation later. These flaps can go up and down. But again, that's another thing for robot mode. So, forgive me if this transformation takes a while, but I haven't pulled this guy in a while. I'm pretty to start. I'm going to flip these both up. Let's see. These pieces here, I always remember having difficulty with them popping off, but for now, this is going to come off like this. This will come out like this as well. Yep, there it goes. I'm going to put these little pieces off to the side for now because they're going to get in the way. Don't want to forget about them though. And then these are going to fold backwards and down. These are going to pop off and fold backwards to get out of the way. These will slide down. Slide down. Blue portions here will slide out. You're going to twist them, making his thrusters the heels and giving him a very strange pair of feet. Yes, this is the hard part. These are going to slide out like this. These will be his shoulders. The fists will slide down, and out, and twist to look a little more natural. These pieces will split apart and fold down like that, because there needs to be a gap right in the center. And then this piece is going to go ahead and just move these down so you can see. This piece is going to come from here and slide up like this. Now for the cockpit, you're going to take this portion, it's going to fold down, up, in, like that. And then you're going to go ahead and take the nose, and it's just going to go right through his waist. And then the head, in the process, should slide up. Emphasis on the should. Mine is not. Oh, come now. I'm pretty sure to get this to work properly, you're going to need to make his head go in. There we go. Now his head will pop up. It'll go back. You're going to take this, and it's going to fold like this. This will actually peg right into the bottom of the nose. Let's see if I can get that to work. There we go. And that'll just stay in the back. And this assembly will just fold down, revealing Mr. Starscream's mostly complete. These pieces here, people have done a lot of different things. You can snap them off because they're ball jointed. I tend to keep them on. You can fold them back, keep them out of the way, except that makes them look exceptionally ridiculous from the side. I just keep them like that. They're not a real issue for me. Now I'm going to go ahead and put these pieces back on because they're not. What you're going to do is you're just going to fold that little tab in. That'll just peg it right back on. They always pop off for me, so I always take them off during transformation. You may not have a problem, but for me, there we go. And there he, oh wait, no raise. No raise will peg into the sides of his arms nicely, like that. And again, like that. So this is possibly the best Starscream figure I own. Might not be my favorite because he's so fragile that you can't really do a lot with him. But really there is a lot going on in this figure. First thing, breast missiles. I don't know when we see these in the show or if we ever do, but I seem to remember that there's a time where he does actually use them. But that was nice that they added those on. For articulation, we'll start down here from the thighs. You can kind of rotate the waist if you want, but then it makes his, not really. From the thighs, they come up to a little under a 90 degree, and then they'll go out, not very far either. So you can't really do a lot with the thighs, but there's a swivel there. Knee to again almost 90 degrees. And the ankle you can't do a lot with because, as I said, the strange feet with the thrusters as heels and these things. You can rotate these, like I said, and this thing will move out and in, out and in. Arms is where the articulation is really nice. We have a ratcheted joint here, which allows full 360 rotation. We get a swivel here, an elbow, with a cool little joint there, and a wrist swivel. For the hands, the thumb will be stored right there, but it'll slide up like so. Since my camera doesn't do a very good job of focusing, these fingers are attached and can be bent as so. His pointer finger is by itself, just like the thumb. So he can point at people and say, hey, I don't like your face. But there, his head is on a ball joint as well, so you can get all sorts of funny random poses there. Face, not sure, again with the focusing, he has a trademark Starscream smirk on. But if you don't like that, you can take this thing right here, his head will or his face will slide out, and you can just rotate that 180 degrees, push back in, and then you have a serious Starscream face, which I don't really like. I need a Starscream smirk to get me in the holiday spirit, frankly. Yeah, that's much better. Very nice. Now really quick, I'm going to set him down. I want to show off his display stand capabilities. This thing is going to pop, slide off, and go on like this. And then, again, I'm going to have difficulty showing you this, but this portion is going to come up. There will be a little peg in the back, which will allow him to plug neatly onto the stand. And there you go. Leaving his feet a little off the ground, allowing all sorts of fun little poses. But I'm going to take him off for now, because if I mess around with him too much, he's going to end up falling. I do not want that to happen again. Yep, so you can do lots. This guy's got great posability, if not playability. You can make him salute, since he's red, white, and blue. He's American, obviously. Legs make it a little difficult to do some poses down there, but for the top portion, you can get all sorts of great stuff. For the wings, I'm going to point this out. This is how it tells you to do it, but you can also make them push them up a little bit. I think that looks kind of cool. But you can do whatever you want. So all in all, he even stands by himself if you can, voila. Because his thrusters do a pretty good job of keeping him on the ground. Now for a figure, he's not my favorite because again, he's really fragile. Be careful with him if you get him. But he's really good. He's show accurate, lots of articulation, really cool paint job. Transparent plastic was a really neat touch with the Ghost. I'd give this guy 9 out of 10. Just the only issue is you can't really do a lot with him because of his fragility. I'm not even sure that's how you say that. He's really fragile. But other than that, you should have a ball with him. There is lots. One more thing I'll show off before I finish. There is once again, focusing. Lots of detail. There's tons of little lines, little panels that you can tell like where little screws went in. If he really were a jet. They really do a good job detailing, making this figure articulate, accurate. Really good job. Again, if you just like to play with your Transformers and make them throw each other around the room, this is probably not the best way to spend your money, considering the fact that he is over $100 anyway. But again, if you just like posing figures and getting great collectibles, this guy is for you. This guy is a really good Starscream, the best one I own, if again, as I said, if not my favorite. So, yeah, that'll finish it for this review. Everyone have a great holidays, Happy New Year, and I'll see you in 2013.